أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome everyone to our MIAS Asia Pacific Kashmir chapter monthly Ibn Arabi reading sessions. Today we have a special focus on this particular topic from an illustrated guide to Ibn Arabi. This is a compilation from Futuhat by Futuhat translator Eric Winkel. So here he covered 26 thematic outline taken from this 37 volume Futuhat al Makkiyya. So Bridge of Life is number 3 in that series of 26 themes. So our focus is on just this particular topic. He has only 2 pages written. He quoted a paragraph from volume 7, chapter 308 of Futuhat. I will share the Arabic, and then Mark will, of course, read the English part, and then we will go into my interpretations through some research, and then we will go to the floor as just a participatory discussions into it. So let's start. Mark, do you want to start the intention?
Yes. So we usually begin each session, as you know, with the intention to be fully present with a specific internal attitude. And in the Futuhat, there's a passage which describes this, written by Ibn Arabi. He says, "We empty our hearts of reflective thinking, and we sit together with the real Al-Haq in remembrance on the carpet of spiritual courtesy, adab, attentiveness, muraqabah, and presence, hudur, and readiness to receive whatever comes to us from him, so that it is the real Al-Haq who takes charge of our instruction by way of unveiling, kashf, and realization, tahqiq. So when their hearts and powers of concentration have turned to God and taken refuge in him alone, and have cast out of them whatever else is clinging to them of pretension, investigation, rational observation, and intellectual conclusions, then their minds are secure and at peace, and their hearts are purified and empty. When this state of preparedness is in them, the real Al-Haq reveals himself to them as the teacher, and this witnessing informs them of the meanings of these reports and words in a single outpouring." And we'll just sit with that for a moment or two. Noor, would you like me to read the text straight away, or do you want to share the screen
Okay,
first?
let me share the screen, and in that way we will go from it. So let me share the screen, and then okay, screen, and then I go to here, and yes.
Okay.
So, yes, go ahead.
Okay. The bridge of life. Learn that the bridge that you journey upon, and God has stabilized your feet upon it so that you may reach the garden, is the bridge of guidance that He configured for you in the abode of this world, based on integrated deeds, visible and invisible. In this abode, it has the same property as meaning. You see, no sense-based image is witnessed because it is beyond the dimensionality of this world. So then, He extends out a bridge to assist you on the day of arising for judgment, physically sensed over the back of the hellfire, its first part in the halt and its last part flush against the gate of the garden. You recognize as soon as you see it that it is of your design and your construction. And you know that it was there in this world as an extended hand of assistance, a bridge over the back of the hellfire that is your nature, in your length, your width, and your depth. Ibn Arabi, that's from the Futuhat al Makkiyya, and now a commentary by Eric Winkle. Ibn Arabi tells us that the first thing we see after we die is the bridge. We will immediately recognize that this is a bridge of our own design. We have been building it all our life. The bridge will take us up to the gate of the garden. Every moment we asked for forgiveness and were forgiven, every offense from another that we forgave, and every remembrance of God that we uttered is a protective cover against the barbs and gaffs lining the bridge. Every good deed and charity makes the path wide and easy. We see our entire life before us in the form of this bridge. Those who die before they die see their bridge, and they immerse themselves in a life of concern and care for others and for their Mother Earth. And greeting us at the beginning of this bridge will be our teachers, mothers, grandmothers, fathers, and spiritual guides. Their hands are extended to help us. In Sufi terms, this is called taking hand. In the photo of a bridge over the river Dubayat, a tributary leading to the Indus, we see perhaps two sisters helping each other in life, which means their passage after death will be aided and supported. Their father perhaps has gone before them. At this moment of crossing, we will know with deep gratitude the meaning of our life, and we will rejoice in every act of kindness and love that we were able to offer. Noor will show a picture of this bridge after the next two paragraphs. Ibn Arabi tells us that this bridge is of such beauty for the faithful that they will be joyfully moved to traverse it. This is why we do not mourn too much at the grave, because we do not want the beloved to worry about us. They should be free to proceed onward to their delight. In another account, when we reach the bridge, the announcer calls out, "Wait here, everyone, while Lady Fatima and her two sons cross." Hence, our devotion to the Mother Guide, the daughter of Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah, this is the breach he
Ah,
referred. This is the breach he referred in
ah,
that commentary.
hmm.
So yeah, the two sisters who are helping each other, and the father who already passed,
Mhm.
gone to the other side. And this is the nature of us. Of course, if your nature is Jannah, you will see the river, because in Jannah there is Nahar under the trees, under the, so that's why this is the nature you will see, and we will discuss briefly about that.
But what
And
is
now
Nahar, Noor?
Nahar means river. Nahar
Ah,
is the Arabic word, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So we'll come back to all this again. Let me give some of the interpretations I gathered in few tables based on some of the articles on this topic. So one of the things is Barzakh as the liminal realm. Barzakh, which is an intermediate world, it exists between physical and spiritual realms. We mentioned in our previous lectures, Barzakh is one of the five presences of the divine. So Ibn Arabi defines Barzakhs at the intermediate world between the physical and spiritual realms. It's neither purely material nor purely immaterial, but a realm of imaginal reality, the alam al-khayal. So that is the one he mentioned. In this world, we don't have a sense-based image. Everything we see with our eye, but of course, we see the with our eye with the help of the sun or sunlight or whatever light, because our eye doesn't have the power to see the, the reflection happens from the object to our eye, and then we sense it. So it's not a so sense-based image versus physical image is different. What we will do there, I'll explain that particular word, sense-based image. The bridge, Jisr al-Hayat, the bridge of life, pul-sirat, I'll explain this word. Pul is the Farsi word. I think it's used in Bengali as well. Pul is a bridge. So sirat means road, and we call rasta. So sirat also is a way. So it spans between barzakh, which is the other world, and connecting the soul's earthly existence to its posthumous journey. So yes, the bridge is a circular bridge. I will explain to that. Um, yeah, when I show a diagram. The bridge is self-constructed. The another feature of this bridge is self-constructed. And also Ibn Arabi teaches that every soul constructs its own bridge.
Mm.
So that means there is no one bridge. Every one of us will have a custom-made bridge for each of us. And through its deeds, so the bridge is construction material, not brick and mortar. Its construction is based on deeds, intention, spiritual states. So this is how the bridge will be constructed for every soul. This bridge is not metaphorical alone. It is ontologically real in the imaginal world. So this wujud is there. It's ontologically real. That's Ibn Arabi saying in your imaginal world, which is the barzakh, this bridge exists. Everyone will see the bridge and find it. As soon as they are resurrected, they will see it in their own eye. He writes that upon encountering this bridge after death, the soul immediately recognizes it as its own handiwork. You will know it as soon as you see it, for it is your design and your construction. That is the quote from Futuhat. And this jisr is jisr al-mahsus. It's a sense-based jisr, sense-based. What is sense-based? I am coming back to it. And then fire below. This fire can be a fire or something else. So this bridge, as described, as suspended over hell, Jahannam, echoing Quranic and Hadith imagery of the Sirat, the road, but the road is not made of brick and mortar. It's a razor thin path over the fire. For some, it will be razor thin. For others, it will be something else. Ibn Arabi interpretation emphasizes that the bridge's stability and beauty reflect the soul's inner harmony, how harmonious you are at that point, the qalbun salim or not,
Mm.
while it's fragile or terror reflects the spiritual imbalance. So if your heart is not stable, its fragility and terror will reflect on your, the characteristic of the breach. Breach will change based on your inner harmony of your nafs. Another thing is deeds as architectural element. You know, you have a pillar, you have a beam and all those sort of things to make a house.
Mm.
Same thing, this bridge elements are visible deeds, actions, speech, invisible deeds, intention, inner states. These are the building blocks of the bridge. So that's one of the another dimensions of the bridge. The bridge is not merely a test, it is mirror of the soul's metaphysical architecture constructed throughout this life. This is the, agricultural cultivation ground.
Mm.
So what you cultivate here, you get the outcome there. So your bridge, you make it when you are here.
Mm.
So guidance and divine configuration. That's what he is guiding you here, and he's telling you what to do to get that bridge. So even Ibn Arabi affirms that Allah configures the potential for this bridge in every human being, but its actual form depends on how one responds to the divine guidance. So Ya Hadi is always in action, and Najmul Huda, which is the Prophet, Sirajum Munira, he is our living example of our guidance. So how we are following him and able to articulate our actions, that's what he's saying here. As you see, the bridge is thus both a divine mercy and a personal responsibility, a
Mm.
synthesis of qadar, divine decree, and kasab, you know, um, kasab ma kasabat aidihim, whatever their hands has earned. So that's brick and mortar means, which is your all these actions in speech and invisible deeds. Those what your hand produce, al-yawma, yukallimu, the Surah Yasin verse that our hand, our leg will shahid, and our our mouth will be shut. Khatama. Yeah.
So you're,
So that's the thing. On that day, this will reflect whatever we have acquire through our hands and intellect.
Mm.
And then this next one is uh, this is the bridge. This is the AI has done this because I just gave it this different informations based on these findings from Ibn Arabi's research work. I have a reference list at the end. So all those architectural documents, as you see here, you have righteous living that will make this spandrels. Charity, if you have a lot of charity work, you will have this kind of arc. And then if you have honorable auctions, you will have, of course, between these suspended columns. And then you will have parapet acts of obedience. You will have this side of it and moral living. You will have a vault like this whole thing, railing.
mm,
And then microstructure, your hidden actions on this side. And of course, columns as well. So this is the world of heaven. You will be facing, this is you, this is the soul, each of us. Behind is our world, because world is part of it. It is a round journey, bridge between this, Mahad Elal Ahad. The Mahad is the, when you are born and you are on this um, yeah, man, we call it dulna in our language. Uh, what, Mark, what you call when a baby is, give a swinging on a little thing? Is it,
like
the,
a birth or a, you
yeah,
mean,
when a baby is born and to soothe him down, you're
yes,
just making a swinging
like a
action.
hammock, hammock,
Yeah, like a hammock or
retrieved.
but hammock you don't push, but this one when baby is young and little, this lie on this
Ah,
little thing and then you just give him joy.
yeah.
So from mahad and ahad, these two Arabic word is we say from dulna to kabar. Kabar means your graveyard. So
Mm,
so that is your journey basically from mother's womb. As soon as you appear on this planet,
mm,
then you start your journey. And of course, that's your bridge of life here.
mm,
But this is your bridge of life there.
mm,
As soon as you are resurrected, you see this bridge and which start in the halt and ends in the wall of the heaven. So, but the journey is circular because Ibn Arabi mentioned in his Tadwiratul Ilahiyya, so our path is circular. We had a descent, now we are ascending.
mm.
Descent in the mulk, but we are simultaneously exist mulk and malakut. We are,
So,
mm,
Noor, is the halt that is mentioned in the second paragraph that we read,
yeah.
is that this world, the halt?
No, halt is this one. As soon as you open,
Hmm.
man, we will be gathered
Mm.
in a big hashar, in
Ah,
there will be the big judgment will happen.
aha,
So that's where the halt is,
aha.
and of course that's part of this journey.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and now I just will give more interpretations on this table. A symbolic rendering includes cityscape of the world, dunya on the left, representing earthly life, and bridge structure composed of this. Guardrails is charity will become guardrail, honorable actions will become columns, righteous living will be spandrels, acts of obedience will be parapet of the bridge, positive effects will be arc, that little arc, and then moral living will be the vault of the breach, and the microstructures, invisible deeds, hidden actions will be part of the microstructure. And the flame beneath the breach is the Jahannam over which the bridge is suspended. And then figure at the breach, as I
Mm,
mentioned, that's human.
mm,
That is the soul, self, nafs, recognizing its own breach, leaning on a staff, which is his stick, and then facing heaven with back toward the earth. So back is toward the world, heaven, he'll be facing towards the heaven.
So what is the Arabic word for halt? What is that, Noor?
That is the mawakif.
Mawakif.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So and of course it's the day of Hashar, basically gathering.
Thank you.
So guardrails again, these are the terminology, and I just put the source where it came from. Charity is a protective act preventing harm and guiding others, like guardrails, inspired by crafting spirituality, transcendent architecture, and Akbarian perspective. This is an article by Hani Ibrahim. I just gave the list there. And then columns uphold the breath, just as noble actions uphold the soul's integrity based on cosmological diagrams. Ibn Arabi wrote some diagrams, and there is a French girl who wrote a paper in Academia, chapter 371 in Futuhat. So this came from there.
Mhm.
And then this is also spandrels, fills gaps and connects, symbolizing consistent righteous behavior derived from metaphysical symbolism in the Akbarian hermeneutics. There's an article there. So anyway, this is just the table which you can
Mhm.
come to explore later. But main thing is this is my understanding based on those research articles. And this is the actual Arabic quotation which Mark read the first two paragraphs. So only thing I wanted to touch there is this. He said this word one is calling the based on integrated deeds. He configured for you in the abode of this world based on integrated deeds. This integrated deed means al amal, al saliha, zahira wa batina. So this amala saliha is the one Eric Winkel translated as an integrated deeds, because whatever you do associated with your, of course, environment, associated with your condition, associated to your niya, associated with your feeling. So you just don't do mechanically anything. So that's why he gone into the root word swale, and he found it's not righteous deed alone. It's he's calling it integrated deed. So that's one of the word I wanted to mention here. And of course, as you see, he's saying all this integrated deed, Zahir wa Batina, the one we are doing in Darud Dunya, in this world, but of course, Siratul Huda. This is, of course, based on the guidance we have been given in this world. This is the bridge of guidance that he configured. So in this world, we'll get bridge of guidance,
Mhm.
and based on which we are inshatahu linafsik. So we are creating our own self with our amal as-saliha. We are creating the bridge ourselves. As we are talking, as we are doing this work, as we are transmitting this knowledge from Ibn Arabi, we are creating something in the other world. It's linked, interlinked simultaneously. Just like my screen and your screen is interconnected over the internet, same way this world, the Alam al Mulk and Alam al Malakut, is integrated. Whatever you do is happening there. And same way, when we go to sleep, our soul goes to divine hand, and we are shown things in that world which is a sense based. Images maybe look like dunya, but we have fear, we have uh, we become happy, we can become sad by seeing those things. And as you know, whatever you see in your dream is as real as your life,
Mhm.
what you going to the shopping and
mm,
paying somebody money to give you grocery. Just this type of things you are doing in the physical world, similar what you do in your dream world, and that barzakhi world will be, Ibn Arabi is saying, similar to what you do in your dream, which is based on your memory, based on your imagination, based on your understanding of objects, based on your perception of dunya versus the Lord and your guide. And also, he mentioned, and this ad-dunya mamdudan jisran ala matan jahannam tabiyatika. So here, what is your Jahannam? Your Jahannam here is your ill thought. Your Jahannam is your terror. Your Jahannam is your worrisome life. Say, for example, if you are born in a war-torn country
mm,
like Palestine at the moment, you are a baby. You have, of course, you are faced with all these
mm,
um, features, but you will be tested on that, how much patience you are. But of course, baby is still learning from it. And they have their guide through their parents or a caretaker who God is appointing them. But their judgment will be different than ours.
mm,
And then also, if I was born in the King's Charles house and I become Andrew or other princes, I will be judged differently because I've been given a different environment, right? So
mm,
that's what he's saying, that tabiyatika. Tabiya means my nature, where, and then the tuleka, my length, wa ardeka means my width, and then amakika, means your depth. So those three dimension is basically a dimension of my bridge. So that's what Ibn Arabi is mentioning here.
mhm,
So, and then I just wanted to mention this hadith where this idea came from, and Ibn Arabi mentioned. And you have the reference, but this is the hadith in the, this is a very long hadith. I just taken the middle part, who is talking about bridge. But before that, he's talking about Ibn Arabi mentioned another hadith in chapter Hud, that is Allah will show himself in various forms. So after that, then he said that that ceremony, once that is done, then every soul will be guided to come to the bridge.
mm,
So I said that bridge will laid over the hellfire. Allah's messenger added, I will be the first to cross it.
mm,
And the invocation of the apostles on the day, the all apostles, all prophets will be Allahumma sallim, Allahumma sallim. Oh Allah, save us, save us. And then over that bridge, there will be hooks. And he
mhm.
said there will be hooks similar to the thorns of a Sa'adan. So there will be Sa'adan, thorny tree.
Aha.
So it will be hooks. And he mentioned that kind of things. Didn't you see the thorns of a Sa'adan? Companions said, yes, oh Allah Messenger. He added, so the hooks over that bridge will be like the thorns, the like. Just to keep the word like, it's not the thorn itself,
Mm.
the like the thorns, as a sadhan, except that their greatness in size is only known to Allah. The how this thorn or in the architecture will be built is only known to Allah.
Yeah.
So these hooks will snatch the people according to their deeds.
Mm.
So it can be friendly or it can be
Right.
unfriendly, based on your deeds, because those hooks will have a life. You got my point? That's
Yeah.
how he's explaining. And then some people will be ruined because of their evil deeds. Some will be cut into pieces and fall down in the hell, but will be saved afterwards when Allah has finished the judgment among his slaves and intends to take out of the fire whoever he wishes to take out from among those who used to testify that none had the right to be worshipped but Allah. So
Mm.
this is just the hadith.
Brilliant.
And I just wanted to quote that bit, and this is the Arabic version of that hadith. And it's Sahih Bukhari number 6573. And this is some image of how this thorn prophet mentioned.
mm,
There's a two different image, but as you know, this is not really exactly this thing will be there, but it is just to give an idea that it is not something comfortable.
mm,
It is very uncomfortable. And this is the image I found in the internet on
mm.
this. So yeah, with that note, I just finish my presentation, and now we'll go into collective discussions. Um, so floor to the audience and participations.
I had a question. I know, like,
Yes, Mikhail bhai, yes. Thank you.
so
Mm.
I'm just wondering that you were talking about deeds. Is this deeds the precise term? A question came up that in the Salat in Bakka, when we say to Allah the salutations, for Allah the acts of piety, for Allah the good deeds, to Allah the prayers, does deeds refer to that specific for Allah the good deeds, or does deeds refer, excuse me, to what you mentioned, the integrated deeds, which is seems to be those four aspects of doing or being within the human soul?
Yeah, this refers to anything you do in the world. Say you are serving petrol to another human, right? That may be your job. But job is what? Basically, you are helping somebody, they are giving you some money and you buy food with that money, right? And when you go into the supermarket, somebody else is serving you and
Mm.
you give the money and he give you grocery, right? And where he getting the grocery from? The farmers looking after his field, but Allah is giving all this sun, all this rain, and all this, everything is Allah is giving, right? He's just looking after, minding those plants so that it can harvest some uh, um, whatever food we need, right? So basically, everything is Allah's. What we are doing is exchanging all these things between us. Is everything is ibadah. Everything you do is ibadah if you know that you are here to do ibadah. Because Allah said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have created jinn and insan only for service, right? What is ab do? Ab is basically they do service. So everything you do is your intention dependent, feelings dependent, and what you are doing. Are you giving a niyyah to help somebody or exploit somebody? So your consciousness, you muttaqi, you will be muttaqi when you are conscious of God. What consciousness? Two things. If you do, you will be muttaqi. One is nahi anil munkar. Don't do what displeases Allah, and do what pleases Allah. Nahi anil munkar, and then this amr bil maruf. Do good things and then to satisfy Allah, to please Allah. So your objective is inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin. My drinks, my salat, my life, everything is for Allah. If you do it, then everything becomes your good deeds. That's my understanding. What do you think, Mikhail bhai? Yeah.
I just wanted also, yeah, that's helpful. I wanted to know, is the term the same? That
Yes.
the word deed in Bakka, is that the same as the term you had referred to on your slide,
Yes.
or
Amal
are there?
as-salihah. Amal as-salihah. Al-amal as-salihah. Integrated deeds.
So it's a
So,
different word, but it refers to the same thing, Noor. Is
Yeah,
that?
but what you said in your salat,
Mm.
you're basically aligning your mind and heart
Ah,
and body. Ibn Arabi say that your you have 8 components within your body. Your eye,
mm,
through which Allah sees.
mm,
what you are doing and what this dunya is.
Mm.
Here, our eye is the one who's seeing it, but our mouth is the transmitter and our ear is the receiver, right? So we are transmitting and receiving. So all those things uh, are 8 various parts within the body need to be present when you are remembering Allah. Salat is nothing but to remember Allah. So as soon as you are doing meditation, the way Allah subhanahu Rasul Pak said that pray as if you see Allah. If you don't see Allah, Allah is seeing you. So that is the niyat when you stand in Salah. Now there you say a lot of things to remember Allah.
Mm.
All those are good deeds, yes. But it's not that only. As I said, your petrol shop work is also part of the deed. Because most of the Islamic architecture, they were making carpet, but they are doing zikir in the meantime. They are carving on the wood or on the those beautiful mosque, all those ceiling. They are doing those things, but their hands doing this, but their mind is doing zikir.
Mm.
And Attar is selling his Attar, but he's doing zikir. He's talking, and he has this tasbih on his hand. All the time. He's doing all the time this tasbih, but also doing his shopping, he's exchanging, clients coming, going, he's exchanging goods, but he never forgot Allah. And same it is this guy, he's a Rajmistri, he's a masonry, but he's putting brick after brick and building the wall, but his hand is doing, but his mind is busy remembering Allah.
Ah.
So, and same thing, and even brick itself, yes, it's serving human to make the wall and taking the load of the roof, but every atom in there is calling Allah. Every atom is calling Allah. That's what in Quran is saying that um, mm, everything in dunya is calling Allah, praising Allah. So we are just part of it. Any other question? Well, not question. Let's discuss. If you want, I can put back this 2-page text so that you guys can ponder on it and meditate on this line so that what Ibn Arabi is saying, you can comment on it based on your understanding. Yeah. So I'll just put that diagram, not that text. Just 1 minute. This is the 2-page text which we needed to meditate, which Ibn Arabi is saying in this first paragraph and second paragraph. These two idea about the bridge of life, and as you see, life is a bridge that you are journey upon. So that is the part, earthly bridge, from Mahad ilal Ahad, from Dulna, from your cradle to
Cradle,
your
that's the right word. Peter. Cradle.
cradle to the grave. That is
Mhm.
your bridge. But if you think my bridge and your bridge is different. I had to go through so many things, and now I'm settled in Australia and doing all these different things. But my life will not match with yours. So my bridge is different. My 24 hours is different than your 24 hours, right? So, but we all have our own life, and same thing will happen in Akhirah. It's not the Harbour Bridge where 300,000 people cross together from this side to that side to raise their voice against whatever bad things happening in the other part of the world. But that's not how the bridge look like. And then the bridge is made of all this stone. No, it's not like that. Yeah.
Can you
Dr.
say a
Maruf
bit
Shah.
more about?
Mm,
Oh,
mm.
sorry, Maruf wanted to say something.
And I haven't seen any hands raised.
Mm.
Just wanted to ask whether Maruf Shah has, because he's a thinker and
Mm.
reads Ibn Arabi extensively. So I'm just seeking his input and guidance. And yeah, Dr. Maruf Shah, are you there? Okay, Robert then. Robert, do you want to say anything? You had a question about this bridge versus between this world versus that world. But according to, as I mentioned, Ibn Arabi thinks the bridge is a circular. So we are one part here, the other part there. It's not only just between the only Jahannam, the way our common understanding is. Ibn Arabi's reading is different than others.
I'd like you to say more about the fact that this bridge is circular, because he says that one part of it is uh, flush on the day of arising for you, that is on the day of your death, and that's the first part of the halt, and the last part is against the gate of the garden. All right, and he is saying this is a bridge over the Barzakh. So can you explain a bit more in how you see it being circular? If it's circular, you come back to where you started.
Yes, we started in Alam Arwah, which is, of course, above Malakut. We will be ended up going there. So, Inna lillahi wa inna ilahi rajiun. We came from Allah, go back to Allah. Because we are the light from Allah and will become the light of Allah. At the moment, it's split. Ma tasha'una illa an yasha Allah. You can will it, but Allah's will has to join anything to do happen here. Over there, your will is His will. As soon as you desire, over there, your desire is God's desire.
Mm.
Because you and God is one there. Here, He is different. Your desire is not God's desire, because there is a kind of little bit of gap there. That's why there is a delay has been added. But about the bridge, as you see here in the first line, is that the learn that the bridge that you journey upon. So we are journeying upon now. Yeah. But then the bridge there will be a bridge. Here the bridge is cultivation. Bridge is bridge of guidance. But over there, the bridge of deeds, what we did here will manifest there. That's my understanding.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And in the Tadbiratul Ilahiyya, there is a detailed mention of this circle. He clearly explained how he's saying that know that what we call God's deputy, the soul, which is nafs, is the center of the circle of all existence. God entrusted it with this honored state because He knew its potential to rule in justice within the realm of the individual human being. So, and then he explained how this circle works. And one part stays in Malakut, Alam al-Amr, which is our ruh. And the other part stays in Mulk and Alam al-Khalq. And the Qalb constantly shifting. Sometime it is towards Allah, sometime it's towards dunya, sometime it's Allah, sometime it's towards dunya. The qalb is always flip-flopping, flip-flopping. So the heart, that's why heart is called taqallub, because it's a moving, moving. Heart is always moving, and it's in Allah's two finger, and He is constantly rotating it. So that's my understanding. But if you think it's just a linear, only there, not here, that's not my understanding of these readings. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, I'm just looking at the passage,
yes,
and
yes.
from the passage, there
Mm.
isn't anything which says that it's circular.
But
Oh, it's not saying it. Yes, I agree.
It could be that you could say, all right, there is a circular movement in that beings come from the point where he says, am I not your Lord? And then they come down through the various abodes into this abode, and then they go back to him. But for this particular bridge of life, it seems to be a one-way thing. The circularity, if you bring it into it, seems to relate to a different way of comprehending this. This is simply a bridge of deeds.
Yes, I agree with you on that. Yes, yeah, it does say here. You see there.
I think there's an allusion to the circularity, and it's sort of hidden because in one way, the helpful way of understanding this bridge is the way that it's described in the two paragraphs. But I'm not quite sure if this is Eric Winkle speaking or Ibn Arabi has, it's a line from Ibn Arabi that Eric Winkle has put in. But in the second page where it begins, Ibn Arabi tells us that the first thing we see after we die is the bridge. That gives you a narrative picture, and it's very, we're born, we live for a certain amount of time, and we die. In one sense, there's nothing circular about that. And yet, when he alludes two paragraphs down to, and he just makes an allusion to it, he doesn't explain it, he doesn't say anything more. He says, those who die before they die. So that's a whole new concept that he's introduced right there. And I think there you get this feeling of circularity because they've died before they've died, which means they're still alive. And these people, they see their bridge. Now, it doesn't say when, but they see it. And it says what they do as a consequence of this action of dying before death, immerse themselves in a life of concern and care for others and for their Mother Earth. So I think that's a whole different dimension that Ibn Arabi is introducing, but it's not explicated at the moment. It's just like a hint that it's possible for this bridge to have another explanation. But in order to understand that kind of circularity, where the person has gone somewhere and yet hasn't gone somewhere, they've gone back to their life because they've died before death. That's like when T.S. Eliot says, what's that famous line? The British poet T.S. Eliot says, it's like coming back to the place that you first set off from and knowing it for the first time.
Yes.
I think that's alluded to, but I agree with you. And I think Noor is saying the same thing, that in the first two paragraphs, it's a different sort of thing that Muhyiddin ibn Arabi is describing. And those who die before death are in a different configuration. What do you think, Noor? Have I made that?
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. Because as you see here, this quotation, you see, Ibn Arabi tells us this is from another part. He took it, but not in this passage,
Yes.
which I quoted. So he's saying, he's quoting Ibn Arabi. He's saying that as soon as you wake up, resurrection, right? You see the breach. Yeah. He's saying that you see after we die. We see after we die.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the breach. So, but at the moment, we are on a bridge of dunya. That's my understanding, because it's a circular. But if you want to consider, no, it's not circular, it's flat. Yeah, stay that way as well, because there is no contradiction.
I think maybe in the Fatiha, when it says Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim,
Mm.
this is the image of a straight path. Oh, Mikhail has a question, Noor.
Okay. Yes, Mikhail, go ahead.
No, I actually wanted to I guess go back to this notion of the circularity, because it struck me that actually on the earth there isn't anything, a straight line doesn't actually exist other than on the circularity of the earth. So even if you're walking straight, we're walking on the curvature of the earth. So if we continue walking straight, at some point we literally would end up where we began, right?
Yeah.
So this notion, it's this notion that there is such a thing as a straight line, from point A to point B, must always contain the circularity on the earth. So you're never actually just walking on this two-dimensional straight line. You're always walking straight on the three-dimensional curvature. So the circularity is almost intrinsic to one's path. And I think what Mark was saying, that at the beginning of our path, we are in a certain sense the lowest of the low, or in ghafla, forgetfulness. And as we proceed on the journey through life, ideally zikr, remembrance of Allah, continues until when we finally come back, we are maybe in the same geographical location, and yet we now see the kingdom of the Lord. So it's not, you haven't returned to where you began, in the sense of what you now see, and yet Allah was always there. It was just that we didn't see Allah or the kingdom.
Beautifully put. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Sorry, but I interrupted you, Mark, because I was actually, you mentioned something about the straight path.
Well, I was just, in fact, you kind of answered or responded to what my question was going to be. Maybe there's a different way of understanding mustaqim, which is usually translated or rendered into English as straight. But maybe in Arabic it also has other dimensions that we've reduced in English to straight, which gives us this idea that it's just a path going, from A maybe to infinity, but it's still going like straight, which usually means from A to B. So maybe in Arabic, mustaqim has other meanings, does it? I don't know. Noor, do you know?
Yeah, I know. I wanted to find out what Dr. Maruf Shah thinks. And Dr. Maruf Shah, are you there? Yeah?
Maybe he's had to go do a shopping.
No, maybe he got distracted with something else.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, so main thing is mustaqim, that word is come from the word istiqama. Istiqama. Yeah.
Yes. And
So
that means?
istiqama means, of course, so just like sta'in,
Yeah.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. So you actually, another word is sta'inu billah. You seek help from Allah, right? Sta'in. So istiqama is if you wanted to say be righteous
Mm,
on your path, you're
mm,
seeking that, right?
mm.
Um, you're seeking that, and then you are also trying to understand how you wanted to become istiqam, mustaqim, right?
Yeah.
So that's what mainly you needed to understand the word mustaqim. It means
Mhm.
upright, right? This istiqama, straight, is upright.
That
What
is
is
very,
upright?
very different. That is brilliant, Noor, because
Mm,
in English, yes, straight can convey the notion of A to B. But also, if you say a person is straight talking, or
yes.
the other meaning of straight, because English isn't just totally reductive. The other meaning of straight in English is upright. You're quite right. And it links with this idea of saliha,
Mm.
because another way of translating saliha is pure and righteous as well. Pure
Yeah,
and
and then istiqama is the steadfastness, right?
steadfast. Yeah,
Fastness.
yeah.
Uh, so it's just not only moral virtues,
Ah,
but metaphysical orientation. They
of course.
signify alignment with the divine reality.
Yeah, that's it.
So straight path means you need to have a balance,
Yeah.
harmony,
Mm.
unwavering presence of God. You are always linked to presence of God. You are running in parallel because His presence, your alignment with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kama.
Hmm.
Kama means kum means stand up
Yep.
straight. You are straight. When you are standing position, you are in and a straight position, a standing position,
This is it.
straight upright. You are in upright, and
Mhm.
also you are balanced because your two legs taking the load of your body in a balanced state. You are standing, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So that is the position which is alif.
Yeah.
So if you stay on that position, that is the mustaqim position,
And I think that's
upright.
hinted in
Mm,
our English translation,
mm.
where Eric Winkle says, and translate, God has stabilized your feet upon it so that you may reach the garden. That's got nothing to do with, a, a linear path. It is a whole interior orientation, just as you've said, which must encompass the whole of your being, all your external attributes and the internal powers, just like it says in our statement, or not our statement, but the statement from the Futuhat at the beginning. So when their hearts and powers of concentration have turned to God,
Yes,
that
yes.
tawbah,
Turn to God, and you have to stay in that state
that's it. That's it.
because you need to be oriented.
You need to be orientated
Yeah, and your
towards,
compass is steady
that's it.
towards Kaaba.
Yeah.
Kaaba is the direction where Allah is present.
Mm, mm,
So when your heart and is aligned to that compass
mm,
and it's not shifting, it's not whatever other magnetic force and destruction happening on your around, it's not deflecting it,
mm,
right? It's
mm.
just like as still as this smooth lake water surface. You can see the whole sky. There is no ripple there.
Mm, mm.
Got my point?
Yes, and I think when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the whole world is your mosque, that
Exactly.
also conveys that three-dimensionality. It's not
Yeah,
just pointing in one specific direction. Yes, it is. In this world, every Muslim orientates themselves towards Makkah, but in truth, in reality, in the other world, there's no directionality like that. It's the heart, as you said before, is held between the two fingers of the Rahman. He turns it in whichever direction he wishes. Because for
exactly.
him, there's no one direction. That'd be crazy. So I think this is opening it up to help the mind, which tends to want to, encapsulate everything linearly and opening up into a dimension which is, how many dimensions are there? Five? I don't know, but more than one anyway.
Well, there's six. I mean, you mentioned the Kaaba, so
Yeah,
definitely six dimensions just there in terms of the cube.
that's right. Six.
Four,
Six
four
directions.
horizontal and then two vertical,
That's right.
up and down.
Yes, there we are.
And then straight, and then what you mentioned about the straight, also then it seems to imply the pure verticality of the human being.
Yes,
That other
Yes.
than all other creatures who are horizontal,
yes,
four-legged, man is the two-legged, and also stands upward towards heaven, towards her Lord. So that verticality is also, like you said, another dimension of this
yeah,
notion of straightness.
yes.
And also, it reminded me of that image that of the good word. The good word, a, a good word is like a tree whose roots are deeply
Oh,
embedded, and its branches reach up to heaven,
excellent.
symbolizing the word of the human soul
Yeah,
that finds its way or reaches back to heaven,
yeah,
even though it is planted.
yes.
So again, verticality. Yeah.
So I think Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi, I think it's in the chapter in Fusus al-Hikam, in the wisdom of Uluhiyah, in the word of Adam, says that the insan kamil is a verb, both unifying and discriminating. So there we have the verticality and the horizontality, because you've got the verticality, which is the unifying, and the discriminating is seeing whichever direction he's turning you in, it's him that is appearing, whether it's in a flower or a big building or an animal or whatever it happens to be, or the wind causing a tornado, whatever it happens to be, it's him. And whichever direction he turns you in, he will be what is seen and recognized. So that's brilliant.
So are we to understand the bridge as being synonymous with Sirat al-Mustaqim or a certain aspect of it?
Well, what do
It
you
is
think?
certain aspect of it, yes.
I think so.
Because
Depending on your
if
level.
you stay in Siratul Mustaqim in this world, then your Sirat will be easy there.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's my understanding. What do you think,
Mm.
brother?
My mind was actually on another question.
Yeah,
Oh, but Bob,
go
we have.
ahead, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Right. It relates to what I think is Eric Winkle's commentary on this. It's in the second paragraph where it says the bridge will take us up to the gate of the garden. Right, and he also says uh, every remembrance of God that we utter is a protective cover against the barbs and gaffs lining the bridge. Now, my question is, if we create the bridge, then we must also create the barbs and gaffs lining the bridge. All right.
Yes,
But Ibn Arabi tells us that this bridge is based on integrated deeds. That is, deeds which are done in remembrance. All right. So then, if these barbs and gaffs are just barbs and gaffs which are said and they're not in remembrance, then they're not existent. They're not there,
But they are there, Bob.
but they are there.
Yeah. That's
So how is it that the barbs and gaffs can be there, but our deeds which we do, which are not done in remembrance, are not there?
to err is human, to err is human, right? When you do the err mistakes, that's when buffs and gaps happens. But you have an option. Say astaghfirullah. When you say you seek Allah's ghafar, Allah's forgiveness, and you forgave somebody as well. So somebody did a mistake to you in your transaction on the human world, in your muamala. You see the adino muamala, right? So your path is how you deal with people, right? This is the, theoethics is what you do with God. Socioethics is what you do with the society, right? So society ethics, you have done some unethical thing with your fellow member of the society, right? So that behavior, this unethical behavior will create bumps and gaps. But you you seek forgiveness of Allah, and also you seek the forgiveness of the person you did the mistreatment, and he forgave you. So once he forgave, then these bumps and gaps are covered. Yeah, then it will not give you any pain. Yes, there are thorns will be created, but those thorns will be covered, protected,
So
so
is
that
that
it
the
doesn't hurt you.
name, Noor, that
Yeah.
would be the name Ya Ghafoor.
Yeah, Ghafoor, and yes, Sattar is who give the covering. Yeah, Satar. Yes, Dr. Maruf Shah.
Yes,
Here it
yes,
is.
it was such a wonderful pleasure to be part of it. I was just wondering about 2 points.
Yes, please.
Why are why are deeds only constituting the bridge that leads to heaven? So deeds themselves are not in a way, uh, we can say they are not sufficient passport to heaven. Why should one walk the bridge? My point is, in Islamic tradition, deeds are in a way whatever we think ultimately it is God's grace that saves. Or way one is saved by deeds. Deeds help in ascension in different stages of heaven, but themselves they do not qualify us to get to heaven.
Ah, yes.
Is there, yes, is that's why is the subtle point that they only constitute the bridge but not the heaven.
Uh-huh.
So this needs to be given its consideration. So I think Ibn Arabi is also trying to allude subtly to this point. But another point, whenever we say everything in the other world is basically it is unfoldment of what is done here, or there is nothing there which we have not already brought from here.
Uh-huh.
So it applies particularly to bridge, also it applies to elsewhere as well. So bridge should not be specified for that. So I think larger this Ibn Arabi's view on afterlife as fundamentally this life seen from a divine point of view,
Ah, yes.
or seen from a more clear perception. When Quran says on that day, perception is much clear. So I was trying to connect these dots. Thank you. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. Dr. Maruf.
Yes, as you rightly pointed out, it's a synthesis of qadar, divine decree, yeah, this divine mercy, and a personal responsibility, which is the human acquisition. So bridge is a divine mercy. Without mercy, you can't pass through it. So of course, deeds, yes, you might make it the bridge part of it, but it will have so many things. It says razor thin path over the fire. So unless divine mercy is upon you, you can't cross it. So that is always, there is a hadith about these 500 years, a particular abode, a particular was praying, fasting, and he was living next to in an island where there is a pomegranate tree. Every day he gets one pomegranate from the tree which falls onto him, and he just live on it for and prayed 500 years. And when the day of judgment came, he thought he did all these good deeds. He didn't do anything but prayer. So he thought his heaven is guaranteed. This is the prophetic saying. So then Allah said, what do you think? I gave you eye to see this whole universe. Not only outer eye, you can have an inner eye as well to see inner universe. That is, even you can't pay for that gift already. So 500 years, nothing compared to this one gift to you. So as a result, take him because he think he already qualified to get Jannah. But in my judgment, this gift will cost 500 years of what he did. So in that way, Allah is saying, take him to Jahannam. But when he's going back, he's looking back to Allah, looking back to Allah. Say that, hey, why you are looking back? Decision is taken. Say that I am looking because you said, oh Allah, la taqnatu min rahmatillah. You said, oh Allah, you never be despair of your mercy. That now you come to the point. Then that's when he pulled back and said that, hey, yes, give him my mercy. That's when he is given back to Jannah. So that tells you that deed is not enough. That a story of that hadith tells you that yes, deed is not enough. So that's one of the learning we have to have, yes.
And I think that's reflected, Noor, in a way in that first paragraph of two paragraphs of the Futuhat, when all he says is it's a bridge of guidance.
Yes.
He doesn't necessarily specify the destination, just a bridge of guidance. That could be, as long as somebody's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't seen that before, that there's no actual destination there. It's a bridge of guidance. So it's the principle of guidance. And Ibn Arabi is using this image of a bridge, if you like, as a connecting link between us and our source.
Yes.
It's very good.
Yeah. So Shabir Prairie, do you have anything to say and add? Lakhbir, do you want to say anything? And Tahmina Chaudhary, do you have anything to add to the discussion? We have 6 more minutes to finish our session. Yeah? No more comments or no more questions?
Not a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Mikhail. Bye.
This brings me back to this, I guess, kind of, I don't know, like confusion that, like everything that you had outlined there, it refers to actions, deeds, uprightness, etc. And yet, like to Mark's point, that we live in such this kind of rational, logical world. Our minds dominate with just this very linear type of discursive reasoning, etc. And there's nothing there about quote unquote knowledge. We a lot of us we presume that all Ibn Arabi is talking about knowledge, and yet everything here it seems to refer more to akhlaq, spiritual character and deed. And just I'm wondering that is there something in that ultimately it's not about what we know, but it's in what we are in our being, the imitation of the Prophet for Allah's divine names. I'm just curious that this knowledge versus being, I feel like it's something I get confused by a lot, because we can talk about these concepts, and there's an infinite array of them, and yet Ibn Arabi keeps returning to these points which refer to the insan al-kamil, which is a perfection of character. Well, I was curious about what your thoughts might be on that.
Mark, do you want to
Yes.
go ahead? Yeah.
I think maybe it's reflected in something I was told the other day. I'd heard it before, but it hadn't really sunk in, and maybe it hasn't sunk in yet. But most people who relay the unauthenticated Hadith Qudsi, I was a hidden treasure, right? Most people, there's a word in Arabic, don't ask me what it is, but it's different from the way Muhyiddin ibn Arabi relates it. According to somebody who's looked at a lot of his, maybe Maruf Shah can help here, Ibn Arabi uses the word arafa. I was an I was an unrecognized treasure. I love to be known, so I created the universe, the world, the dunya, that I might be recognized. So using the word arafa is very interesting because I think it connects with what you're saying. There's knowledge. He is the alim, ultimately. He knows. He is the knower. But unless he can be informed, in other words, he is also al-khabir. He is the one who is informed about himself through taste of the knowledge that he has and that he is. So I think the relationship, it's easy to slip into, once again, when we think about knowledge, is to limit it to the idea of our discursivity as the heights of intellectual prowess and all that kind of thing. But no, knowledge is being. It's very difficult to it's very difficult to comprehend that with the mind because we think knowing is something else. But I think this idea that recognition of that which you are, which the insan kamil provides for him, not because he is lacking, but because he loves to be known. So there's a connection there, and I think that's what Ibn Arabi would be more asking us to consider, rather than, saying, and that's where the deeds come in, because character is not just a collection of attitudes. It's a deep, what we were discussing before. It's not a linear direction. It's a deep orientation that takes up the whole of you. So when you say Bismillah in the name, isn't there a hidden alif there, Noor, which you don't see, but it means the implication is gather yourself, every possible faculty that you have, every gift that you've been given, gather that, because that's what's going to be necessary, and they're his. They don't belong to you. So it's back to what Maruf Shah said. We cannot gather together deeds and then present them and say, hi, I've done all this, please grant me this. It's not possible. It reminds me of when Muhyiddin ibn Arabi, as a young man, encountered his first teacher, and the teacher, Al-Urabi, said to him, are you firmly resolved to follow in God's way? And Muhyiddin ibn Arabi replied, the servant may resolve. Yeah, you can have resolve, but it is God who decides the issue. So there we have a perfect illustration of what we've been talking today. We can put all our energies into wanting to have that orientation. Whether it happens or not is his business, because he decides the issue. But certainly that's going to help more than if we remain in ghafla. If we remain in ghafla, we're not helping ourselves. So the moment an inkling comes, oh, I'm here for a reason, the moment one really orientates oneself in that direction, yes, he decides. You can do whatever you like for 100 years and eat pomegranates or pray every day. It's not going to make any difference. He decides. If we can get used to that, then that's also something very helpful, because we've moved from causality, secondary cause, into the primary reason for existence, which is worship and service and slavery.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. So another thing I just wanted to add on Mikhail Bhai's question about knowledge versus being and becoming.
Uh-huh.
So your being, you refine it through your actions, and you're becoming, say, khulukun azim, that best of the character. So this knowledge belongs to the mother book, which is Alim, which doesn't change. God knows your type. God already have this ayan sabit about you, but He is khabirum bema ta'malun. He is khabir. He is aware of what you are doing. So as you mentioned, Ya Alim and Ya Khabir, those two corresponds to what extent your amal is happening. The more knowledgeable you are, the more elaborate and deeper your action will be. So that's why God saying that our Prophet has been encouraged to say, there bizidni ilma. This particular knowledge is the one you keep asking, and the more you know, the more the horizon will move, and then the more you will understand God, and the more, as you said, I am. So I love to be known. So the more you know Him, the more you can become, and your being will be, yeah, extended towards God's expectation. But of course, you never finish it because God is infinite, and He only know, you only know whatever Prophet has taught you and whatever Allah teaches you, right? You know that ma'allamtana, that angelic response, that we only know what you taught us. We don't know anything beyond that. So that's what I should say, that you can become, or your being can be refined to the extent of your your knowledge. So that's what my understanding. Is that satisfy, Michael Bhai? Yeah.
I just wondered that because the way that we in modern discourse talk about knowledge is quite different than gnosis or the traditional sacred sense of knowledge, which is an integration of what one's character, actions, being, and embodies, which is the prophetic character. So for, from a, whether it's South Asian or any kind of Eastern, conception, knowledge is always Gnostic. It's something that's experientially known through a doing, through a being, which seems to imitate Allah's character, because all of Allah's names, as much as you say we need to know the names, all of Allah's names are based on what Allah's divine character of actions are toward us. The names have no other, other property other than in relation to us as Lord. So that means we have to understand why Allah is the generous, why Allah is the forgiving. All of these are actions towards us, and yet they comprise a sacred character. So yeah, I think it's that. I guess it seems from Ibn Arabi's point of view, it's more integrated in the knowing and doing, so to speak.
Yes.
Whereas we seem to spend a lot of time, knowing things very discursively, conceptually,
I think
which is a false knowing. Yeah.
part of our struggle, Michael, then is to challenge that. If we're aware of that, we have to challenge that in ourselves so that it doesn't become a habit, which then imprisons us in that discursivity and then doesn't allow us to step outside it, which is what he's asking us to do.
Yeah, and Ibn Arabi always has this criticism of the philosophers, right? Philosophers are always trying to know more about God, but the friends are always those who know God or want to know God. So there is a difference between knowing about someone and then knowing directly someone.
But the two help each other, though. I mean, you wouldn't want to put the philosophers all in Jahannam just because of that. In a way, like, to understand something has many dimensions, and so in its own way, the speculative thought can serve the heart, but it's when it sets itself up in its own independent kingdom or queendom that the problems start arising, I think, because it thinks it itself can understand and know the answers, whereas actually in service to the heart, which knows in a different kind of way and can utilize information to enrich it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what Ibn Arabi's point is as well, that the incoherence is when the mind begins to take on a life of its own rather than in service to its Lord. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we have finished our 5:30 timeline. So if no one else has any question, we can conclude this session. So many thanks everyone for joining the call, and inshallah we'll see you next month. I have to check. Yeah.
Qasum's prayer.
Yeah. Yes, please, if you can. Yeah.
Okay. This is the prayer of Ibn Qasum, whose prayer inspired Ibn Arabi to recite it at the end of his sessions also, and you'll see why. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. O God, cause us to hear and see that which is good.
That which is good.
Bless us with well-being and make it continue for us. May He make our hearts concentrate on awareness of Him and direct us. So concentrate on awareness of Him and direct us to that which He loves and finds pleasing. Alhamdulillah.
Amen. Amen. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Noor. Thank you, Maru. Thanks, Bob.
Good night.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.